What's good? Seed
What's
Club
good?
Squad.
I love
Jack, what's
it.
up, buddy?
Jack and I we're kindred spirits here because we don't go anywhere without the brand that we care the most about on our head.
That's right. Yeah, I had to break out the summer merch here. It's I don't know if you guys are getting the heat, but it's feels really nice to finally get outdoors and yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like it's merch is so important these days.
I mean, the
So
visor's a nice touch.
yeah. Shout out Flood and Moon. Really, they cooked this one up. But yeah, I gotta get you guys one of these visors. We gotta do another order in.
Nice.
Honestly, yeah, we gotta get people to start sending us merch, and we should just get ahead of guests. And if we had this before you showed up, we'd have the Clanker visors on, no problem.
I think I don't know, man. I'm
I
not sure
would.
that easily. Yeah, I think you would. Yeah, but see. I don't
True.
know.
I don't think you ever take that hat off
If
your
it's
head.
if it's I got a great head of hair. I swear.
I like
You'll see
that
it.
hat though. I feel like it's all about like how it fits my head, And if it's like I got like the trucker hat, maybe it doesn't fit perfectly, but yeah.
Well, we have like 15 minutes with you, and I'll send us down a hat conversation here. It's going to be the beginning of the edit. I will learn my lessons from before. You want to introduce us here, Josh? And
Yeah, let's get into it. So Dish is one of the founders of Clanker, which is a base token launchpad that really came ripping onto the scene last year by letting anyone easily launch tokens directly from the feed on Farcaster. So was checking stats this morning, and you guys have done $3.1 billion in volume, paid out $31 million in creator fees over the past 8 months, and the ecosystem has a collective market cap of $173 million, which is amazing. So congrats for those numbers.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, so I imagine the majority of people are still very anchored on kind of the initial instance of Clanker, honestly, like myself included. But I know you guys have been kind of relentlessly iterating and expanding the platform over the past 8 months. So yeah, wondering if you could kind of just catch us up on some of the big changes you've made and talk about the current state of the product.
Yeah, totally. So kind of like the way that Clinker started, it was just kind of the basic tech, right? You take a simple text, name, symbol, image, you generate a single-sided LP token. And the way that we've kind of been thinking about it recently is that we want these tokens to be super flexible for any type of deployment. We've seen kind of this app coin really just like start taking off. A lot of these, like whether it's Indexy, Checker, a bright QR, like all of these, like app coins. And a lot of them kind of require whether it's a specific like team allocation, maybe for a future investor to come in later. That wasn't really possible with the initial Clanker deployment process. So what we did with V4 is really just kind of build out the best contracts possible, maintaining like that trustfulness and also just keeping it super flexible so we can start to scale and go towards like these, like whether it's larger players or more flexible like types of token launches. That's kind of what we've gotten back to, just doubling down on the tech and yeah, trying to keep the vibes strong too.
So we were talking earlier on the intro just about the token launchpad market generally, and I think this idea that that's a killer business model that'll probably fit into many different products in the future. So I'm curious if you sort of look at the landscape right now of the launchpad category. I'm curious how you see that evolving and ultimately where Clanker fits into it.
Yeah, totally. I think that like what Clanker was, it's like the Virgil, right? Like the 3% rule. And I think that's what Clanker kind of did, right? Like we didn't invent, single-sided LPs or sharing that with the creator. All we did is like slap that on a social feed. And I think the token launchpad landscape is, it's very, very deep right now with a lot of these launchpads launching every day. What Clanker wants to do is really enable any type of project to deploy tokens for their customers, right? So like you can launch Clanker tokens through a variety of different interfaces. The most prominent is with Banker, shout out Deployer. So like basically just like bringing tokens to anyone. We want to be kind of that hub in that standard token deployment through various different types of deployment methods, whether it's through the SDK, API, or even a UI. But yeah, like similar kind of like that. Even like, for example, like based MC, right? Like, you can deploy a variety of different types of tokens. Why not just slap a Clanker on there? We have a lot of like these users that listen to the Clanker contracts, and that just brings volume through whether it's like a social context or maybe the message sender. These are all kind of like different ways that the ecosystem plays together, in addition to like these trading bots, right, that are just kind of like listening to these Clanker contracts, a variety of different like trading platforms too. So like all of this kind of just builds into like what we want to do is just like make, deploying tokens and trading tokens fun.
Got it. So much more of like a, if you look at, Pump, Moonshot, kind of a bunch of the leaders, it's this very kind of owned world. You guys are taking a much more kind of ecosystem, kind of API, almost like protocol layer approach to this.
Totally. Yeah. And I think kind of the one differentiating factor about Clanker is that we try and just deliver all of the social context that it was deployed in. With these more flexible contracts, there could be potential kind of rug vectors where it's like maybe there's, like a dev buy. We want to ensure that that's visible to the traders as well, just to maintain that like that DYOR, kind of that trading security to fully get the full picture of those tokens. Making sure that like whether the social context that's deployed is accurate and things like that. But yeah, that's something that we're really like focused on as well.
Got it. Awesome. Yeah, so I was looking at the Dune earlier, and it seems like you like very kind of sustainable usage. It looks like thousand tokens getting launched a day. It seems like very deeply integrated into the Farcaster ecosystem. Seems like you're kind of a mainstay like Lindy token launcher platform within that. But I'm curious where Clanker goes from here. Like, do you just double down and continue, just serving the Farcaster ecosystem better and better? Or do you think you need to expand beyond that?
I think that Farcaster and Base are our home, and they'll forever be our home. And I think that we see a lot of talented builders come through Farcaster, so we definitely have a soft spot for that. We also do see like the opportunity in other EVM chains as well. The way that I think about Clanker is we want to be what Next.js is to React, Clanker will be to Uniswap v4. So having like that easeability to deploy a token on any chain that Uni v4 is deployed. And that's kind of the goal there, right? Where it's like, it kind of takes on a life of its own. You can go to all of these chains and really just meet these users where they are. Because it seems like a lot of these like these launch pads, they're chain specific. We want to kind of just like be that open framework for everyone.
So I guess earlier this year, you had the privilege of dealing with some controversy that kind of dropped on your lap. And it's well covered in other places and threads. And so I guess I'm mostly interested in just what your experience was going through that. So I imagine there was not a fun process. I also imagine that there was a bunch of lessons learned through doing it. So I'm curious, do you have any big reflections on that process and any insights that you pulled from it?
Oh yeah, I might just be glitching out here.
Sure, we can hear you all right.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I think I'm back. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that was completely unexpected. I was, I'm a first-time founder, right? Like before, I was just a developer for other startups, things like that. So me kind of being put into this position of being kind of like the face of a project is brand new to me, and that's something that I've had to like kind of just learn on the fly. And it's been really cool. I think that like the community's been really supportive of kind of like where we're at now and where we're going. I think it's just like it's just tough, like the way that found out about it and all that. Like it was not on my bingo card, but like it's just like I feel like for me it's just like life. Like I'm dealt a hand of cards, and it's just about like how I play it, and I'm just trying to do the best that I can to really like continue the mission of Clanker and being that go-to token deployment method there. But I mean, yeah, it's really like I just like type so much more. Like I think I type more now, like as kind of that public facing figure, just replying to people and talking to people versus like before when I was like primarily just coding. I definitely want to kind of like do more coding, but I'm having a lot of fun. And I think like Clanker is not just like one person, one team. It really is like the entire ecosystem. And that I feel like is the most beautiful part, where it's like I'm reassured, and like a lot of people have my back, and I'm just super like grateful for for really everything. You know, it's like life can throw these obstacles at you, and it's just like, all right, like let me just dodge those right there, and continue to get back up and keep going here. But yeah, I'm trying the best I can, and I think like as long as I can do that, like I'm bullish on Clanker. So
wake up, put on your visor, and deal with the challenges of the day.
exactly, it's like the the McDonald's hat, but it's a Clanker hat.
I mean, I think the thing from my perspective that you handled like exceptionally well was actually just getting out way ahead of it. Like you were the one that broke the news to most people. You didn't kind of sit back and hope it kind of just got out really quietly. Like you got ahead of it. I think you guys communicated really well throughout the entire process. I think build all the trust that you built over the year before within the Farcaster ecosystem. I think helped a ton, obviously, to the community had your back and realized how you're in a shitty situation, and they were going to help you through it. And I think you guys just showed up with like authenticity and honesty, and I think communicated really well. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like this is the first time like building a successful app, and the first time like dealing with like this PR. So like I appreciate your your words about that. And I think it's just like transparency and trust are like so important. Like the blockchain ensures that like you can verifiably audit it. It's just like the person, I guess the off-chain parts that are like the trust is super important for that. Probably more important, honestly. So yeah, I think it's definitely been a crazy, definitely a crazy 7 months. But I think it's just like it's still such an early project, and I'm just trying to I'm very grateful for my team. Shout out the team, and I feel like we're all kind of part of it. So
yeah, I'm just trying to imagine me spending my life coding, which is crazy already, and then all of a sudden being like, hey, you're up, baby.
Yeah,
it's a stage.
Next man up mentality. It's like the Brady way, or the Belichick way, actually.
The Belichick way. So if you're looking forward to the next few months, what should we be excited about?
Yeah, I think V4, the Clanker extensions will unlock so many different possibilities with these token deployment methods. Shout out Compreni and Nifty Time. They built Cent before. They're building Farstore now, and they're doing a lot of cool like pre-sale stuff that's right now not built on Clanker, but they have like a Clanker buyback. But in the future, they want to build directly on V4, and I'm super excited for these like these third-party devs to build on top of Clanker, to build these custom experiences.
Are there any? So those are the best ones to check if live right now, and to sort of see how that ecosystem's evolving, or is there?
Yeah, I think there's it's DAU. There's like an 100 ETH pre-sale right now, like just prompting like if they do launch through DAU or through Farstore, it'll like just do like a pre-sale for this 100 ETH launch. So that'll be pretty sick. It's kind of cool seeing like these like like the pre-sale kind of like, I don't know. I think it's like we just have to kind of get it right. And I love that everyone's kind of building towards like the same goal and building together, really, where it's like you might as well just like combine these brains to really like push it forward, because that's what it's going to take to compete with these like other industry giants. So it's really cool.
DAU is Brian Flynn's thing, right? Is that right? Nice. Yeah, we're gonna have him on later this week, I think.
Oh,
so
sweet.
We'll see how
maybe you can get some alpha on where he's gonna drop.
Well, we'll do the work.
Yeah.
He's a squirrely dude with the alpha, but we'll see what we can get.
Yeah. Love it.
Nice. Well, Jack, thanks for joining, man. We have Deployer ready to jump on next. So good back to back with some good Farcaster native products. So
shout out Deployer. Thanks for having me on.
Shout out Deployer. Yeah, thanks, man. Talk soon.
Thanks, Jack. Send us some advisors.